Hello, my name is Oliver Glanz and I'm a professor of Old Testament at Andrews University. In this tutorial I would like to show you how to annotate text in accordance Bible software. In the context of annotation we're also going to speak about hyperlinking, namely creating hyperlinks to dictionary entries and other kind of text that you can open in accordance. So let's move here to our accordance installation. Let's add the Nestle Align text here and put it over so that we can compare it with the Old Testament text. Okay, here we go. So when we compare John chapter 1 with Genesis chapter 1, you will see that both books start with the same phrase, named with NRG. So NRG here and NRG and logos here. So if we want to turn this observation into an actual note, you can easily do that by clicking on the pen marker that is available in any biblical text in accordance. So you see here we are on the Septuagint, verse 1, and you have this pen marker. Verse 2, and we have this pen marker. We go to the Nestle Aland, and the same thing will be happening here. Verse 1, and we have this pen marker. Verse 2, and we will have this pen marker. So before we just click on that pen, which will activate the note-taking, I want to make you aware of the user notes icon up here. So when you click here, you can actually create a dedicated note file. I suggest you don't create too many note files, but that you separate notes for different projects in order to have a more organized workflow. So let's say you want to have some a note for exegetical observations. So what we have done now is we have created a note file. Go here to library and then scroll down to my stuff. You see we have created a note file with the name exegetical observations, and it appears here under my notes. You can create more notes by just new notes and then give it a new name and so on. Okay, so let's now operate just with this one note file. Now in order to add a note, we just click here on this pen, and you see that a floating box appears in which we can start writing our note. So the beginning of John's Gospel starts with the same prepositional phrase as the GT of Genesis 1 verse 1, the Greek text of Genesis 1 verse 1, and let's give some samples. Let's show the first clause for each text, NRG and logos. Copy paste. Here we go, and the same thing here, NRG epoisen hotheos ton uranon kaiten again. So, okay. And as you see, we can tweak the font here. Let's do this Times New Roman. And we can change the size to anything you want. And we can save it. Control save. And now what happens is that since we have added a note here to the Nestle Align 28, this pen has morphed into notepad sign, and when you hover over that notepad sign, you get the instant information. You get the information about that. About that note in your instant information window. You see here the beginning of John Gospel starts with the prepositional phrase as the Greek text of Genesis 1, blah blah blah. Okay, good. Now you can further change this annotation by just clicking on it, and you see that we could now start actually working on this whole node file again. Now we want to do this actually now, and we will use the opportunity to change our node file by showing you how the hyperlinking works. As you see, we have now the Genesis 1 verse 1 text. Come on. Genesis 1 verse 1 text mentioned here. We can have a hyperlink to the actual text Genesis 1 verse 1 when we click here on this automatically turn all references, URLs and tool links into links. So if you click this, then suddenly your reference Genesis 1 verse 1 is hyperlinked. What does that mean? Once you save your file, you can now hover over your node file and the text reference here, and automatically your text shows up here in its translation. Now, as you see, we have here the Almeida translation, which is, I think, a Portuguese translation. Yes, it's a Portuguese translation. This is not something we might want, since at least I cannot speak Portuguese. So we can change this preference by going to Edit, Preference, then go to User Node Display, and then you see the section Hypertext. This you change into whatever text you want. Let's say in our case, let's use the ESV, and then as an alternative text, the NRSV. Alright, good. So what now happens is that once I hover over this, you see I get my ESV translation here. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth as a reference. So to demonstrate this again, if you want to add biblical text, I suggest, for example, let's say Jeremiah 1 verse 1, we just randomly put this here, and then Psalm 3. If you want to have these text references hyperlinked, you just click here on this icon, automatically hyperlink all text references and so on, and now these are ready for quick references. So I hover over Jeremiah 1:1, and here you see in the bottom the word of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, and so on. Psalm 3, hover, and here you have Psalm, the entire Psalm 3 listed down here. So this is very handy. So for a further tool, namely the hyperlinking that is available, let's open a dictionary. Let's say here Erdmann's dictionary, and let's go to whatever entry. Let's say creation, perhaps they have a creation entry. No, but we don't care, so let's use this crown entry for now. If you want to create a reference in your node file to a dictionary entry or commentary entry, what you can do is you can just mark this text section that you record as important for reference. Click with the right click here, and then what you can do is you can choose copy as location URL. Copy as location URL. Okay, and then you go into your node file and you write look up this reference of Erdmann's dictionary here. So, and I'm going to use the word here as our as our word for hyperlinking. So, so now I can click here on create or edit link. You can also click on this sign here, create or edit link, it's the same thing. And now what I can do is I can click here on resource link. Sorry. Here, link. And then put the web URL here. So now I've created a web URL here. Let's save this. And now when I hover over this, you'll see I can click on this and automatically my dictionary entry appears. So let's click this away. Now I can click on this and automatically my dictionary entry appears. So these are great ways that you should be aware of when you create annotation files in Accordance. I hope that was helpful.